Hello to all you hammerheads, and welcome to any new axlings. This is the most disorganized podcast on the internet. Welcome to Under the Hammer Podcast. Woo!
All right, I like the temporary rebranding. It's nice.
Came up with the idea for that bit right as the countdown was going through.
I was gonna say you grabbed a hammer and held.
We are by far the most disorganized podcast on the internet.
Well, this is definitely going to be a bit of a packed episode because
we've got news and rumors. So Callahan has issued us a challenge: is that if we spend more than 15 minutes on news and rumors, somebody owes him $10. So I told him we will be stopping it right at 14:59. Okay, so stay tuned for that because that's going to be coming, of course, near the end of the episode. But while we're here today, we got to talk about a little film that came out, a little indie movie called Thor, Heart and Lightning. Yeah, it was in fact a movie that came out, and honestly, it didn't receive as much fanfare as some of the other MCU movies recently.
Yeah, I feel
especially compared to the overwhelming hype of Multiverse of Madness, which arguably led to incredibly high expectations that were sort of shot down. And then we get to Love and Thunder, where everybody's like, it was just going to be a goofy Taika Waititi movie. And guess what? It was, and I loved it. But let's talk about it. But before we get started, I've got a lightning round to start us off with. I got some questions for you.
Okay. Are these about the movie?
Would be, if you found you were worthy of lifting Mjolnir, what would you do with those powers? What's the first thing you would do?
I want to see if there's a costume that comes with it. Because with Jane and Thor, there's costumes that come with it. I want to see what mine looks like. And if I need to do any alterations.
It's just ass and straps. Give the people what they want. Release the ass cut.
We did. Do you not remember that video, Dylan? We watched it before stream.
I know. I'm getting caught on my necklace. Audio people, Dylan is playing with his hair. He does not understand that not every second of the day he needs to be fiddling with his hair when he sees a little curl in the back. But anyways, if you had the powers of Thor, what would you do first? After your costume appears on you.
Right. Are these which Thor movie Thor are we talking about? Because Jane can just do all the stuff that comes with Mjolnir. Are we talking the ability to summon the Bifrost as well?
I'm talking strictly Mjolnir. So
strictly Mjolnir.
Yeah.
I'm flying around. I'd want to fly around for a bit and just be like, this is cool. I'd probably fly to work and just, I don't know, kind of show off because I work at an airport. So when, a god rolls up, they're going to be like, oh, do we have anything on the schedule for a flying man with a hammer?
So the hammer is going to pull you off to work.
I mean, I wouldn't need a car anymore.
Oh my god, the hammer pulled you off? But I think the first thing I would do with Mjolnir, and being 100% completely honest, is I would charge my phone with it.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Because you got to think, okay, what is the capacity of this power? Like for example, we saw in the movie Shazam, for those of us who are people of culture and have watched the DC cinematic masterpiece known as Shazam. There's a scene where they're in the mall and Billy Batson is charging people's phones with his lightning powers. and it short circuits people's phones because he's that powerful. So I'm wondering, because you can control the intensity of Mjolnir's lightning. So I wonder. I mean, it charged Iron Man's armor in the first Avengers up to like 400%.
But this was after he had modified his armor after the Whiplash fight, because the Whiplash fight, the armor couldn't handle all that power. So he had to modify it.
Very true.
I don't think your phones are modified to take a bolt of lightning straight to the circuit boards.
Well, it's not a bolt of lightning. Think of it like a wireless charger.
It's a very powerful wireless charger. The average wireless charger doesn't have 50,000 volts still.
I can only imagine how upset like Odin would be if he saw somebody walking around just like charging their phone on the top of the hammer. I threw mine on my board. So hold on. I'll do the bit. Let me grab mine.
1 sec. Hey babe. If you got all the powers of Thor, like Mjolnir, lightning hammer, and everything, what is the first thing you do?
The first thing I do?
Mm-hmm.
Just like, I'm gonna go record a TikTok.
Do other people have this powers? Or is it
just you?
Oh, because you can make the hammer like float, so I could like use it to record TikToks with. Like, there's no end.
You're using the hammer as a phone stand,
as a tripod.
I'm probably gonna put the hammer on on your books and stuff, so you can't pick it up.
That's so mean.
It's not because I don't want you to have your books. It's because I revel in the fact that I have all this unlimited strength now.
I would also use it to
You put things on high shelves I can't reach. This is payback.
True. I saw a skit somewhere where like Thor's hammer was like holding down a toilet shut.
Yep.
I would probably do some light trolling with that.
That's not a bad idea though.
Phone stand's not a bad idea because you have it float in midair and then phones sit on. Dylan had the idea to charge a phone. It would likely. Yeah, that's what I said too. But he was like, no, you can control it.
You have a free wireless charger here.
Ooh, you can jumpstart your car.
Control the intensity of your lightning.
Can you? You just got these powers.
I mean, you would
have. We saw that Jane was still figuring out the whole Thor thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's like an instantaneous thing, but I'm just saying you could use the hammer for some very nefarious deeds.
I think you could definitely take your house off the power grid.
Exactly. Just simply, hey, I don't want to pay my phone bill this month. Oh, look, everything's good to go. Oh, look at that. We've got a bot in the chat. Help.
Do?
Yeah, you don't see Naked XYZ, our AI helped find the perfect match. Wow, that's kind of disgusting. Okay, first thing I would do with my hammer, I would find whoever makes these darn spam accounts, and I would give them a good old bonking on the head.
Well, I've removed the comments, so
yeah, thank you.
What happened? You guys have thoughts in your comments?
I don't have to.
We got a bot
again.
It's been ages.
Again?
I know.
I didn't think we were big enough for that.
Thank you for your free promotion. We have to send them to the sarcophagus.
Oh, ready? Send them to the sarcophagus.
Send them to the horny sarcophagus. Away.
Back to hammer time.
Also, I have to say though, I would not probably fly with the hammer at first.
No,
because I'm scared of heights.
Oh, that's fair. I'm not. I want to fly. I would fly over here because I'm currently at Gabby's place in my new sick outfit with my flying hammer and just show off for a bit.
Exactly. Oh no, I would show off too.
But I can't. Yeah, same.
Like I'm already known as the lightsaber guy in my community.
I finally have the upper hand. Now I'm bigger.
Sorry, what was that, Dylan?
I was like, I'm already known as the lightsaber guy in my community. So it is not far-fetched to assume that like I would just be, oh yeah, that's Thor. He's going to work.
That's Thor. He's going to work now.
He's late to work again.
Can you just imagine, going to... Oh, here's another good question. What would your Thor title be? Because we have Jane, who's Mighty Thor, Chris Hemsworth, who is just Thor.
Just Thor.
Just Thor.
Just Thor, TM.
Or Odin's son.
Yeah, Thor Odin's son.
What
We have
would my
Mighty Thor.
title be? That's a good one.
Yeah.
I would
What
say
would your Thor title be?
my Thor title would be that's a tough one. Have you thought of yours?
No.
Dang. We're great.
I thought of the question.
You thought of the question. All right. I would say I would be, because I feel like a phrase that describes me very well is unpredictable.
I would agree with that.
So I would be, well, I don't want to say I'd be like, oh, I'll be a combination of Thor and Loki, because that's just not true. That Loki could never match my level of mischief. But I don't want to be like, oh, the mischievous Thor, because that would just be like Thor and Loki mashed together. No, I would be... crap. What's another word for mischievous or unpredictable? The unwieldy Thor. Because
that's another word for clumsy.
I would, yeah, exactly. Well, you think I'd be sitting there like Obi Annie spinning my my hammer, and I would just like drop it, and I would
better yet, you'd hit yourself with it.
Oh yeah, no, that too.
Jar Jar Thor to the nuts has to hurt. That has to hurt so bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh god.
All right,
Do you
what's
think
your Thor title? I'm the unwieldy Thor.
I am ridiculously lucky, so I'd probably go with like Lucky Thor or something like that. I don't know. We're workshopping it.
We're workshopping it. But anyways, past 10 minutes, let's go ahead and hop into that spoiler territory.
All right.
So, this movie had a very, I'll say it started off super dark with gore and losing his family or his daughter, which that was sad. Shout out to Christian Bale. His acting was amazing. I mean, throughout this whole movie, his acting was great. And I absolutely loved it. And I loved him. The pretty Thor. Absolutely, Gabby. You would be the pretty Thor.
Princess Thor?
You know what?
Thor.
I'm changing mine. I'm gonna be the petty Thor.
The petty Thor.
Wait, no, that's just the Thor from actual Norse mythology. Moving on. Oh, he went there. He did the thing. Oh. But anyways, so I did a when this movie first came out. I did. I repeat myself multiple times because I can. But no, when the movie first came out, I saw a post on TikTok, and it said something about how we really didn't get to see Gore be the God Butcher, and I said, "Are you sure we didn't watch the same movie?" Like, don't get me wrong, it would have been nice to see more of Gore God butchering, but I mean, his very first scene in the movie is him killing a god, and it's implied that he kills all of the other gods in that pantheon as well, because he gets the Necro Sword and is like, all right, sword time.
Here's my decree, all gods must die, and then starts God butchering.
Exactly. And then after the opening battle, and you see, oh, look, they're back. Oh, look, the bots are back. Ew, nasty. Yeah, I can't mess with them. But yeah, so it's interesting to see the whole after the battle where all of the Guardians are like, oh wow, there's over 1,000 cries for help across the galaxy. And the one Thor notices, of course, is Lady Sif, because he knows Lady Sif.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Lady Sif finally getting in another Thor movie. That was very cool.
That was cool.
So glad she didn't get killed off.
Same.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. people got very excited. But we know that from the past Thor movies and Agents of Shield that Lady Sif is a formidable warrior.
Mhm.
So seeing that Gore bested her to near death and almost like chopping her arm off shows he's pretty powerful. Same with the killing of that giant animal, that giant like creature type god. Like Gore did plenty of god butchering. It would have been nice to see more of that. But in the movie, which has been the shortest, I think this is the shortest movie of Phase 4.
I think it's been the shortest Marvel movie.
Yeah. It's
Ever.
it's the shortest movie of Phase 4. So with that and that tight runtime, certain things had to be left on the cutting room floor, and I think some god butchering was part of that. Am I a little upset by that? Yeah, I would have loved to see more of Christian Bale. I thought he did amazing.
Yeah.
But I think also what people don't realize, we've been sort of desensitized through real world situations and through, media. I mean, especially through Star Wars, but violence and acts of evil committed towards children kind of doesn't hold a lot of weight in when it really should. Like you got to think, Gore kidnapped all of the Asgardian children.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, it's not that bad." Bro, listen. Acts of violence towards children are bad and they hold weight. If you don't think an act of violence towards a child is something that's terrible, go back and reevaluate yourself. Go home and rethink your life, genuinely. Because I've been seeing this a lot. And I mean, don't get me wrong. It's okay to make jokes. It's okay, people make jokes about Anakin slaughtering the younglings. Occasionally, it's funny. It's kind of a little overdone now. Let's be real. But I think because of that and because of our joking mentality towards that and much of the real world tragedies that have gone on, violence towards children kind of gets swept under the rug. And it's not seen as big of a big deal as it was. Like, if you go out and you commit violence towards children, you're a terrible person. You are evil. And I think that, the movie didn't really play into that as much as it could. Like, this guy kidnapped kids. He is not a good person at all. And the only reason he did it was to draw Thor to the black and white place. I can't remember what it was called.
The Shadow Realm.
Yeah, the Shadow Realm. And to the Eternity or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. It was really cool to see the adventure of this movie where But I really wanted to talk about the whole violence towards kids thing because I think it's one of those things that's kind of underlooked, especially nowadays, where it's commonplace to see in media, violence towards children, and I think we need to put weight on that as a society. And if you think, oh, I mean, he just kidnapped some kids, that's not a good thing.
Kidnapped
That's
kids.
bad. Treat it as such. Or, oh, he just killed kids. That's bad. That's not okay. I love Anakin Skywalker, but slaughtering the younglings was a terrible thing. And I think that holds weight. And I think that people need to realize that those actions hold weight and that it is something that needs to be talked about more.
Agreed.
How sort of desensitized that we've become. But on to a lighter note, the goats. Oh my God. That was one of the few things going into this movie I had kind of spoiled for me. Because I didn't really watch a lot of the trailers. I didn't really see too much of it. But going in, I did see a really funny TikTok about somebody making fun of the goats. And I was like, oh God, are they going to be annoying? And I spoke with a friend about this who had also seen the movie. And we had a very similar reaction to the goats. And it was, in my opinion, they were used just enough to where they weren't like, oh my God, if I hear those goats one more time, I'm gonna get me some goat chops or something.
I will say lamb is quite good.
Yeah, we were right at the point of we both agreed that okay, it had just enough goat to where it wasn't like, okay, this is really bad now, annoying. I think it was just at that just right with the goats.
We had just enough goat. Not too much goat, not too little goat. Just enough goat.
When they were strapping them up to the to the boat though.
The goat boat?
Yeah, the goat boat. That was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. That was funny.
The goat boat.
Also, I want to talk about something else with this movie. Is sort of one of the things that I think a lot of people have sort of latched onto with this one specifically is the representation in this movie. You know, and honestly, I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. I thought it was all really well done. I enjoyed seeing Valkyrie flirt with Zeus's like lady consorts. I thought that was really funny.
I enjoyed that. That was good.
I enjoyed it. I think that was a really great. I mean, could they have done more? Absolutely. But when I see people complaining, it's like, oh, you know, they're forcing this down our throat. I mean, no, they're just acknowledging that people exist.
I'll say this. For a Taika Waititi project, this was tame. Like, I came into this expecting way more.
I did. I kind of did too, especially when somebody said, you know, it was advertised as, oh, this movie is so gay.
It was advertised to me as the gayest Marvel movie. And I was like, this is...
I would agree, considering that we had a little bit of that representation in Eternals, but it wasn't really focused on. We had that one character in Endgame who was Joe Russo. So it wasn't a high bar to clear. I would definitely say this is the gayest Marvel movie, but it's one of those things where it's like,
that bar is set pretty low.
The bar is so low, you literally are just like, hey, 2 scenes of gay people. Oh, we did it! It's the gayest one. Just wait till the next one where they have 3 gay scenes. Maybe a 4th. Ooh, tickle you with it. But yeah.
I was waiting on Valkyrie to be just kissing some women. I was excited for that. I wanted
Valkyrie to have a queen, to be honest. I wanted Valkyrie to pull. Me personally, I just wanted to see that.
We all know they could. We all know they could.
Valkyrie could pull easily. Like Valkyrie could pull me. I would definitely, like, if Valkyrie came and was like, you're gonna be like half king of Asgard, I'll be like, sweet, I'm in.
You're like, what do I have to do? And they're just like, nothing.
Nothing. Sit there and look pretty. I got you.
You are a figurehead.
Sit there and look pretty. If Valkyrie was like, you're going to be my arm candy, I'll be like, really? Me? Of all people?
He's like, you want me? Are you sure? Have you looked again?
Listen, if Valkyrie told me I was going to be their arm candy, yes. Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Oh, 100%.
Aye, Captain.
Yep.
I will fly your goat boat. Speaking of characters that fly my goat boat, Jane Foster.
I'm sorry, fly my goat boat.
The transitions in this episode between characters talking.
I'm loving them so.
Yeah. Jane Foster. Let me just.
Arms.
Chef's kiss. So, it's been no secret as a lifelong Star Wars fan that I think Natalie Portman is very pretty. I think she is a beautiful woman. And then in this movie, whew, let me tell you something. I have to say, I think they really did the character of Jane Foster justice in this. And also another thing I really appreciated was seeing the scenes of where they broke, because it was definitely one of those things where you kind of like wondered, like, okay, well, how did this happen?
Right.
So to get to see that, I thought was amazing. What'd you think?
I could not agree with you more on that. I wasn't expecting to see like everything leading up to them breaking up, but it was really nice to have that clarification. I really enjoyed that.
It was really nice to see, and it was good to see that, like, because one of my biggest questions going into this movie was, okay, how is Jane worthy of Mjolnir? Because she necessarily wasn't in the past. I mean, I don't think we ever saw her try to lift the hammer, but like, I'm sure it was brought up. But I really loved how it was, Thor talking to the hammer and saying, like, even if I'm not around, protect Jane no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was such a beautiful thing to. Also, I love that they had to literally cut up a piece of grass and like move it to like store the hammer because they're like, the unliftable rebel. Like, Thor was in New Asgard for like at least a few years of like the blip. Never once did he go, I guess I could like sweep this rubble up and move it. Nah, move it yourself.
Yep.
But I guess it kind of makes sense because of the I'm still worthy line. Also, I love that he picks it back up.
Also, so good. Anyway, moving on.
We must stay focused, brothers. We must
stay focused.
But yes, I really enjoyed the scene of Jane sort of becoming Thor. I thought that was really well done. Where like, also I really enjoyed that they did do the Jane has cancer storyline. I was like, I was wondering if they were going to adopt that from the Mighty Thor comics, and they did it really well.
Mm-hmm.
I just love this movie. I really do. Like, I thought this
was really good.
Probably my favorite Phase 4 movie thus far.
Is Spider-Man No Way Home in Phase 4?
It is, but I liked this one just a little. I liked No Way Home. Don't get me wrong.
Okay. This is just very high praise.
But I just loved this movie more because I feel like it had such a good message about loss and grief and closure and how to move on from a relationship that is that has run its course and been done with. Because as somebody who habitually used to go back to his ex, this movie made me walk out of the theater and go, I should call her. It really did. And I want to give a very big shout out to good friend of the show, who we definitely need to have back on sooner rather than later, Charlie, because I sent Charlie a message, and because Charlie had seen it, and I was like, okay, I want to talk to somebody about this. You hadn't seen it yet, so I was messaging with Charlie about it, and I was like, the only bad thing about this movie for me is that it made me want to call my ex, and Charlie delivered quite literally, and I'm not afraid to say this on air, the most personal threat that I have ever been dealt in my life. Like, thank you. I didn't do it. But Charlie says to me, Dylan, I love you. But if you text your ex, I will fly across this ocean and I will take all of your lightsabers. And I was like, no. I was like, ow.
Wait a second. You're telling me all you have to do is text your ex and we get Charlie in the US?
Yeah, but I'm not sacrificing my saber collection for that.
We can get new sabers. I miss Charlie.
My collection is too extensive. Like, it's not just the NeoPixels, Eli. Have you looked under my TV? It is literally like all sabers. That's like 10% of my decor in my apartment is lightsaber related.
Not just the NeoPixels, but the baselets and the stunt sabers.
And the legacy sabers too. They're like lightsabers. And they took them like lightsabers.
I miss them.
Perfect. That was perfect. But yeah. Speaking of perfect, Korg.
Ah, yes.
I am so happy.
Oh my god.
That Korg got time to shine.
Korg got time to shine. Korg got himself a man's. Korg got himself almost dead. Like, Korg really got his time in the spotlight.
I was surprised when they did the fake out for Korg
Yeah, I was like, oh shit,
I audibly gasped in my theater. I was like,
because
because Korg is probably one of my favorite like MCU like comic relief characters. So when he almost like when he got struck through, I literally was like, oh, no, not Korg.
I was because I booked myself a ticket solo style. I was flying solo on this one. I don't know if you saw my story, but I had an entire theater to myself. I saw a matinee showing. There was nobody else in there. It was amazing.
Nice.
I had
Can't
my
relate.
reclining seats. I used the seat to the right of me for snacks. I used the seat to the left of me for all my other stuff. And I just kind of chilled there, sprawled across like 3 seats. It was amazing. Loved it. But like Korg was there, and I was able to react as loud as I wanted with no shame because there was literally nobody else there, and I was like, "Fuck, no!"
Yeah, it was one of those. It was one of those moments where I was genuinely like upset. I was like, no, and then when I realized he was okay, I was like, damn you, Taika, you got me good, Chief. You got me good on that one.
And then I did love how like Valkyrie sees, this Korg face and is just like, all right, here you go, and just ties him to the back of their head.
Yeah, that was one of those scenes where I was like, okay, I like it. It's like the scene where Chewbacca's like carrying 3PO on his back, but better.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it.
No, yeah, it really was. That was an excellent comparison.
That scene was violent.
Oh, yeah.
So they got away with it by it having golden like juice in there. But that was just straight up blood. Like, shout out to Taika Waititi for getting that high key violence, but done in such a cartoony way. They got away with it. And
like, it's ichor. It's the blood of the gods. It's not blood. It's just
it's not blood. It's just gold.
Stuff.
It's just gold juice. Also, one of the things that I did not realize about this movie until my friend was describing, because he had a friend who was a parent asking, like, oh, should I take my kid to see this movie? And I was like, I don't see why you wouldn't be
explain when Zeus talks about the...
And that was something that I had forgotten about, where we kind of harped on the, they say the phrase shit a lot in this movie. Like, they swear a good bit.
Yeah.
Which I didn't mind. I'm an adult. But I didn't think of, like, how would a kid react to that? But, like, I also grew up, like, hearing adults cuss. So it wasn't like a thing. I was desensitized at a young age.
They're just words. They're perfectly fine to use in the proper context.
They're just spicy words that we use.
They're sentence enhancers. They make you sound fancy.
Hi, Patrick. How the are you?
That is still my father's favorite episode of SpongeBob.
It is the best episode of SpongeBob. I'm not afraid to say that. But I would have to say our next, speaking of the best episode of SpongeBob, Hooky. The one with the hooks, yo ho, near the hooks I'll never go.
Yep.
That's a good one.
That is
really hooked me into this movie.
Okay.
Getting to see the Guardians of the Galaxy again for like 30 seconds.
That was really good, and Star-Lord's no longer doing the jacket. He's got a full-length coat, and I really enjoy that.
I did too. Honestly, it was good to see the Guardians doing their thing, and it was great to see that Peter has matured with his loss of Gamora, which I really enjoyed. And I think that was something that was a great lesson to impart onto Thor. Was that listen, even though you've suffered and you've experienced loss, because Thor has suffered an incredible amount of loss in the MCU.
Oh yeah, he wears them on his back,
and it's still
literally.
Going, quite literally. Speaking of things on their back, hold on, I want to talk about it was one of those things where like the Guardians were there, and I was very happy to see them, but I'm very glad that they didn't overstay their welcome.
Right, they were there and they were like, okay, oh, you got to go do your journey. Okay, bye. Boop. Gone.
I liked that because I feel like in Star-Lord's mind, Thor was this person that they were just kind of like
Tolerating.
letting stay with them. I think, Drax absolutely loved him, of course.
Oh yeah. Drax, Mantis. I think Rocket probably did when he wasn't accidentally almost getting them killed.
Oh man, that opening fight scene made me love the song "Welcome to the Jungle" again, because that
it
song
was-
is incredibly overplayed on like any hard rock, any like rock and roll station.
Yeah.
like, Thanks for listening to Jam 105, and now welcome to the jungle for the 10th time today. Oh yeah! This ain't your grandma's rock station. Time to play Welcome to the Jungle again. But yeah, so it was really nice to hear that song, and I was like, okay, it's pretty badass. I like this song again.
There you go. Yeah, that opening fight scene was freaking spectacular. I
It
loved
is
that.
now on my gym playlist where it belongs.
Plus, Thor's outfit during that scene, the Guardians' outfits during that, just the outfits during that scene. The outfits in general in this movie are
Yeah,
spectacular.
the outfits in
I
this movie
loved
were
it.
great.
Costume department absolutely killed it.
Speaking of great outfits, Thor, the main character of the movie.
Mhm.
Now we're
Mhm.
finally talking about him 36 minutes and 42 seconds in. Let's do it. Thor had a great arc in this movie, and I was kind
He
of
really
wondering,
did.
like, okay, are they going to do a Thor movie without Loki? And I was wondering, like, because the Loki show is a thing that exists.
Right.
And there was some speculation about a post-credit scene of Loki appearing through like a TVA portal. And I thought to
Mhm.
myself, man, that'd be really stupid if they did that. Just because I like the idea that Loki is dead and Thor has coped with that. As you can see, like you said, he wears it on his back. He quite literally has like Loki horns tattooed on his back. Also, Chris Hemsworth, how many firstborn childs do I have to sacrifice to get your workout routine for free? I don't want to pay $50 a month for Center Fit. I'm just saying, bro. It's a little expensive for someone to just say do the battle ropes and but anyway, Chris Hemsworth, hit me up, bro. I want to get jacked like you. I want to go from dad bod to god bod.
I mean, is it too early to talk about the very end of the movie?
Yes, because I want to talk
Yes.
about his arc in this movie.
All right.
And because his arc is, learning to cope with loss and learning to love again.
Mhm.
And I think as somebody who is definitely sort of going through a time of like, man, this whole dating thing sucks yet again. Coming out of that and going like, oh, I'll just be lonely forever. It's less drama. To get that message in the movie and to see that as it's okay to love again, it's okay to put yourself back out there again. Will you
Just don't text your ex.
No, don't text your ex. There's no guarantee that you won't get hurt. There's no guarantee that like things won't upset you, but you need to go out there and you need to experience these things again. So I really enjoyed that. And I really thought that was a great thing. And I thought that was a great message in this movie. This movie had a lot of great messages
Mhm.
beneath the surface. I think that is one of the things I love about Taika Waititi's, especially his Thor movies,
Oh yeah.
is that they tell a story, and they tell a story of loss, but they also tell it through like, okay, yes, you've experienced these losses, but they don't have to define you. And that they can redeem you. And even with all these terrible things going on, it's okay to like do them but have a smile on your face. Because like Thor 1 and Thor 2 were kind of, not like the darkest movies out there, but they were pretty like, Shakespearean, sort of like rough around the edges, sort of, where they were like very, I don't want to say procedural, but they were very like,
They had to establish things.
right. They put things out there in a way that was very like cut and dry.
Yeah.
And what I like to think is that through Thor's experiences with the Avengers and living with Jane and doing things on Earth, we really got to see that, okay, he's becoming more like a human, where I mean, Thor in the first movie, very much like Shakespearean, and even up to the first Avengers movie, you see how he's very like cut and dry and like very humorless, or like his humor is like Asgardian humor. Because like when he's talking to Coulson and he's like, yeah, like a Bill Schneip. Oh, you don't know what those are? You don't have those here? Like, you know, he was the odd man out. And then you get to Age of Ultron, as much crap as I will give that movie, it is one of my more favorite Avengers movies, because that you get to see that sort of transition from the stiff Thor to the more like jovial Thor, where that we see in Ragnarok, where he's, you know, the gates of hell are filled with the screams of the Hulk's victims. And, you know, he still has those serious moments, but he's a lot more jovial.
Mm-hmm.
And even in like Infinity War, where Thor is on a lot more serious of a journey, he still keeps that lightheartedness. So I appreciated that. I really did. So shout out to Taika Waititi for being great. Speaking of great, let's talk about the ending to this movie, because I really enjoyed seeing Thor temporarily give all the Asgardian kids Thor powers.
That was freaking awesome. Like, the army of kids was nuts. I did not expect that, but I did love it. It was hilarious.
Absolutely, it was great, and it was a great message for kids. And that's where I was kind of wondering, like, you know, is this movie appropriate for kids? Because like, it has a great message of like, hey, you know, just because you're a kid doesn't mean you're powerless. You know, you can choose, you can find your own power, and you can do things that are, you know, that sort of boost your power. And also Thor's takes on a lot more of a mentor type role to Heimdall's son, who I will say it, the CGI where he first appears is a little wonky. I think that's done on purpose. I think it's supposed to look bad to demonstrate his abilities, because later on in the movie, it don't look that bad when he does it. As he gains more control of his powers, the CGI gets better. So I think that was a purposeful choice. And yeah, you can slander it and you can say, oh, well, the VFX people were underworked. That's terrible. Marvel do better. But hey, I think overall it makes sense. And we end the movie with Thor taking on Gore's daughter, because in the end, Gore wins.
Yeah.
He doesn't lose. He wins the events. Like, he knows he's going to die, but he doesn't care. Same with Jane coming back, knowing she's going to die, but choosing to do the heroic thing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Which I loved. I thought that was amazing. And the look in Thor's eyes when he sees her, he knows. But he also knows that she has made her choice. And I love the healthy relationship dynamic we see between Thor and Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Because he says to her, you know, this is your choice. I can't take that away from you. But I would beat myself up forever if I didn't at least say to you how I felt. And I thought that was perfect. I think that's a great way to communicate, especially
Absolutely.
in a situation like that. I thought that was perfect. Because in, you know, the part of the reason Thor and Jane break up is because they have a lack of communication. And it was wonderful to see them learn to communicate with each other finally.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
Do you have anything more to say about the movie?
Yeah, I want to end with speaking of beautiful. I'm getting too good with this.
Yeah,
but speaking of beautiful, seeing Thor adopt Gore's child that he wished to come back. Because Gore had the opportunity to either make a wish to kill all the gods or to bring his daughter back, which honestly I think is really funny, because, you know, you could say, oh, well, why didn't he think of that from the beginning? He was being corrupted by the Necrosword.
Mm-hmm.
His pain and his trauma was being wielded by the Necrosword as much as he was wielding the Necrosword. If that makes sense, if that kind of makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, it does. It does.
Where, like, you know, they were using each other whereas they were using each other to achieve a goal, whereas Thor and Jane weren't using each other. They were complementing each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a really good, analogy for grief as well, because when you have grief like that, you're going to do where you're more inclined to do things that you would regret, and you look back on and you go, "Oh my God, what have I done?"
What have I done?
What have I done? What have I done? But anyways, I loved this movie, and like I said, it's probably my favorite Phase 4 movie. Hope and seed, haters, if you made it this far in the video. Yeah, I love that he adopts her and sort of on as a and still goes out doing space Viking things. I thought that was really cool. The end scene was awesome.
I thoroughly enjoyed the end scene. Also, their ship. I like their ship.
I do.
Love me a good space house.
Me too. And now let's talk about the end credit and the post credit scene.
Yes.
So or mid credit and post credit, whatever. So mid credit scene, we see that Zeus did not die, which kind of surprised me. But
yeah, that was a little confusing.
He still has the hole in his chest, like he's not like immune. So he brings forth Hercules, and is like, show them the power of the gods or whatever. Interesting. Can't wait to see where that comes up in the future.
Probably in Thor 6, if I had to guess.
Thor 6. Chris Hemsworth is getting a little too tired of this.
He said he'll keep going so long as fans want him.
Exactly. And I love it. I love Hemsworth as Thor. I can't wait to see him come back. I hope he comes back in one of the 7 Avengers movies they just announced at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Dear God, we'll talk about that in a second. Speaking of Comic-Con reveals, but I want to go to the end now, where Jane gets to go to Valhalla, because technically she did die in battle.
Mm-hmm.
So, afterlife confirmed for the MCU. That's dope.
I mean, there's a couple afterlives confirmed for the MCU, but yeah, this one.
Yeah, But yeah, so it was really nice to see Heimdall greeting her at the gate and saying, thanks for looking out for my kid.
Mm-hmm. I was expecting to see Loki. I was expecting Loki because he did die in battle against Thanos.
True.
Where was he?
Eating some olives with Odin.
Maybe he finally made peace with Dad.
I think so. I mean, they're in the afterlife. That don't really have a choice.
I mean, yeah, but he was a shit dad.
I mean,
he was a really shit dad.
True. I lost my transition. Anyways, let's go ahead, and I need to get ready. Prepare the timer for news and rumors. Remember, we have to beat 14 minutes and 59 seconds. Under 15 minutes. Can we do it? Find out next time. Just kidding. That would have been bad. That would have been so bad.
All right, here we are.
All right. Are you ready to speed run Comic-Con?
Mm-hmm.
Because good golly, Miss Molly, a lot happened. So 14 minutes, 59 seconds. See, for the people who are wondering. And we start now. All right, let's go.
All right.
First off. Yeah, first off.
Eldon Henson and Deborah Ann will have reportedly signed contracts with Marvel to return in the Daredevil revival series, which we now know to be Daredevil. What's it called? Born Again. Which is interesting because they did the Born Again storyline in season 3 of Daredevil, so it'll be interesting to see what they've got lined up for Daredevil Born Again.
Not to get too far into it, but in She-Hulk, we noticed that there is there was a trailer for She-Hulk,
mm-hmm.
and in that trailer, guess who appears but none other than Charlie Cox's Daredevil in a red and yellow suit looking very comic accurate.
See, I haven't seen red and yellow. I saw red and black.
So some people have enhanced the coloring. It's yellow. There's yellow accents in the gloves as well.
Okay.
But
okay, I'm
think
not
it's
gonna
pretty
lie.
funny.
I'm not as big of a fan of the red and yellow. Like, don't get me wrong, it's comic accurate. I can understand people really enjoying it, and I'm very happy for them. I don't like the colors together, but that's just a personal thing.
Yeah, I think I like the red and yellow, but I think it does the opposite for Matt Murdock what he would want it to do, because I mean, it kind of shows that okay, this Daredevil guy is like actually blind, because no person who can see color is gonna put red and yellow together. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Daredevil, you're kind of outing yourself there, buddy boy, and there ain't that many blind people in New York. So I don't know, Daredevil, do better. But anyways, 13 minutes in. We're still great. Star Wars reveals, barely any, mostly action figure related. We got to see a little bit of stuff for Jedi Survivor. We got some new reveals for the Black series, the credit collection. If you want to look into that, the 1313 podcast did a really great episode. They've got a new series called Tika's Trading Post. Check them out because they will do a much better job than I could. Moving on to DC for a quick second. We got 2 trailers.
That's all it takes.
We got 2 trailers for DC. We got one for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Very exciting. I really can't wait to see that one. That's going to be super interesting. And we also got a scene for Black Adam. So, yeah. Thanks, DC. You showed up. Proud of you. Back to Marvel, because we got another trailer for, you guessed it, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And Eli just watched it before the stream. Looks amazing.
Yeah, Dylan got to see my live reaction. It looks so good.
I'm really glad they did it. Bob Marley. I thought that was great.
Let's see. More Marvel news. What if Season 2 is set to premiere on Disney Plus in early 2023? What if Season 3 has been officially announced?
Yep. We got new What If. We also had an announcement for the rest of the slate of Phase 4, Phase 5, and Phase 6. Concluding there is one missing slot, which people are theorizing it could be an X-Men movie. There's also the Fantastic Four coming out. Wakanda Forever, Ironheart. There's a lot coming, so it's going to be very, very good time to be a Marvel fan. Also, in news and rumors, Lego news with the new ATTE set. Apparently, there was some shipping delays, so the set has been delayed a couple weeks. So,
no longer August 1st.
If you bought it and were hoping to get it on August 1st, sorry, bro. I did not personally pre-order it and pre-buy it because I think pre-ordering is kind of silly. Unless I really, really want something, I will not typically pre-order it. Because Go ahead.
Other Marvel news. Freshman Year animated series releases in 2024. Very excited about that. I don't think it's MCU canon because I saw the villain lineup and Doc Ock is there and Rhino's there, and
it could be.
I don't think it is because Norman Osborn is also supposed to be a mentor character.
Right. Well, no, I've seen people make the argument that it could be.
Okay. I will say if it is MCU canon, I'll be very happy.
So they took a line from for example, there's a line in No Way Home where Peter first sees Norman Osborn, the one from Tobey Maguire's universe, and he says to him, "Norman, you're," and he gets cut off. People are taking that to say maybe he was going to say, "Norman, you're white," because in this, Norman and Harry Osborn are both black, which I think is really cool. I can't wait to see it. Also, they gave Norman the comic waves, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
They wave check Norman Osborn, and it looks great. Doc Ock does not have his arms, if you notice. So there's some evidence to suggest that this still could be MCU canon. We are very much jumping to conclusions, so we'll just have to wait till the show comes out or we get a trailer about it. Because here's the thing. I'm
intrigued.
If it's not canon, it ain't that big a deal. It'll be really cool to see regardless. Also, Disney Plus just added 3 new movies to their lineup. I just confirmed it today. Rated R movies. Logan,
Yes.
Deadpool, and Deadpool 2. I
And they're
did in
already
fact
on there.
confirm this earlier today when I looked. They are on there.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
We looked last night. I've got potentially some of the biggest news that we'll get.
All right. Hit it.
So, right before, like the day before San Diego Comic-Con, we saw Marvel applied for a bunch of trademarks for movies.
Yep.
Obviously, those got approved as those movies then got revealed the day after. We have 10 more trademarks that they've applied for. Now,
Under the helmet exclusive news? Dang.
I will
All
say,
right.
these, just because they've registered these titles does not mean they're all going to be used. It's very likely that some of these are red herrings that's happened in the past. But we have Nomad, Captain America Red, White, and Black, Avengers Eternity War, Celestials End of Time, Shang-Chi and the Wreckage of Time, Black Knight, Midnight Suns, Avengers Academy, Avengers Excursion, and Avengers Timeless.
So I want to talk about, speaking of Captain America, Sam Wilson Captain America movie has been revealed.
Fucking finally! Oh my god!
I'm not crazy about the name though.
Yeah.
New World Order is kind of sussy wussy. It's not a bad name. It's just like, really, that's the best you could come up with. I mean,
name of the first episode of a series.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it's the first episode's name.
Interesting.
Now, that being said, Agatha's series was originally announced as Agatha House of Harkness, which has now been changed. These names are subject to change. This is what they're initially revealed as.
I'm hoping they do change it because, I mean, you got to think, when right before they did Civil War, they called it Serpent Society and then changed it to Civil War. That was a really cool reveal. I really enjoyed that. But I really hope they do change it because New World Order ain't the best title.
It ain't.
Personally, I really liked Captain America Red, White, and Black.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be really cool to adopt for a name for a movie, especially one revolving around Sam Wilson as Captain America. I think that'd be really cool. Also, in the She-Hulk trailer, I know we're kind of jumping around here, but
it's okay.
Was that the Wrecking Crew we saw?
I don't know, but
there's a good chance that we saw the Wrecking Crew in that. So, and shout out to my buddy Marvin on Instagram. Let me shout out his handle real quick because I think he just sent me a message. But yeah, Marvelous Marvin on Instagram shouted out. He actually cosplays most of the members of the Wrecking Crew. It has made like copies. Dude's awesome. Huge shout out to him. But he pointed it out, and I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. So it could just be like an early version of the Wrecking Crew before they get a lot of their like tech. Because I think it'd be super interesting, sort of with like Armor Wars coming out and stuff, to see, okay, we've got Sharon Carter, the power broker, and she goes around sharing that sort of, with the world. So I think it's really interesting to see, and I think we're really going to enjoy it. So with that being said, is there anything else we want to touch on? I think we kind of got most of it.
Kevin Feige reveals at San Diego Comic-Con that Spider-Man and Charlie Cox's Daredevil will lead the MCU's street-level heroes roster moving forward.
Nice.
This is the best timeline. Oh my god, guys. This is going to be so good. Also, Daredevil Born Again will have 18 episodes.
I know. Can't wait. They're going to break the 6-episode formula, and it's going to be good.
We've also gotten assurance that Armor Wars is still coming out.
I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm excited for all of this to come and see what's next. Also, there was a trailer for Ant-Man 3 at Comic-Con that they didn't. Was? Yeah, well, they didn't release it to the public.
Oh, son of a. Okay.
Well,
they need to stop doing this. I'm getting fed up with that.
And we got 4 minutes and 20 seconds coming left of our timer. But we're doing good, Callahan. We're doing good. I'm not going to owe you $10. But there was a mention of, what was it? Crap. Under pressure.
Pushing down on me.
No,
Pushing down on
but
you.
yeah.
No,
So
no.
basically, what people are saying right now is that in the movie, Scott Lang, writes a book, as you see in
Gets a
he has
podcast.
a
He's been busy.
So he kind of becomes like a little mini celebrity, and they say his fame is going to his head a little bit,
Draws him away from his daughter.
and it drives him away from his family. I don't know about that. I've heard some conflicting accounts from people who were there to say that take on the trailer is a little disingenuous. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when Marvel releases the trailer.
Scott doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who would so easily get drawn away from his family. Like pretty much the entirety of both the Ant-Man movies, he just wants to spend time with Cassie.
Right.
That's his biggest thing.
And I think, when he gets out of the quantum realm, his very first thing is to go find Cassie.
Looks for his family. He's a family man. That's what he is.
I think the takes on it were a little disingenuous. So I would be very interested to see where it goes from here.
That being said,
speaking of exclusive trailers that need to come out, hey, Star Wars, quit dragging your feet. Where's another Jedi Survivor trailer? You give us Cal Kestis's look through a Black Series figure? Really? The fact that he's got a glizzy, he's got a gun, Cal's rocking a blaster, and you just decide, oh yeah, we'll just release in a Black Series figure. No big deal. I want to see that in a trailer. I better be able to blast fools. Hold on. I got time. It would be really cool to do some like blaster lightsaber combos. I'm just saying, if that happens, that's going to be really cool and something I want to see.
I want to see it.
Also, no Ahsoka trailer.
No
Ahsoka Mando trailer. Season 3. You get nothing. You lose. I hate it.
Good day, sir.
I hate it. You lose. Good day, sir. But with that being said, I think, do we have any more news and rumors? We've got a minute and 49 seconds left.
Let's use that time. I want more Jedi Survivor news that is not in the form of action figures so bad.
Same.
I don't know who I have to get to at this point. I mean, come on, guys. It was Comic-Con. It was San Diego Comic-Con.
Right. And there was no...
What are you doing?
Also, thank you for not releasing anything about the, Christian Bale Starkiller project that I really hope doesn't happen. So thank you for that. Very cool.
The Starkiller project you're still in denial about?
It's not going to happen. I'll quote me of saying it now. They are not going to put Christian Bale as Starkiller. Not when they have such a great relationship with Sam Witwer. They would not do that. Let's be real.
Do you think that anyone will be Starkiller?
No, I hope there is no Starkiller, personally.
Now you say you hope. I want to be able to quote you on this. Do you think they are bringing Starkiller into canon?
I think they will eventually, because people are going to cry about it enough to where it's going to happen. But then, here's how it's going to go. I'm going to put on my foresight goggles for the last 23 seconds we have. Starkiller's going to come into canon. He's going to be depowered. People are going to hate it. They're going to cry. They're going to mold. They're going to cope. They're going to seethe. They're going to piss shit and cum their pants. And guess what? I'm going to love it. Because I dislike Starkiller. And with that being said, News and Rumors is done. 3 seconds to spare. Eat it, Callahan.
Yes, we did it. We did it.
Actually, 4. I said it for 4:59. So, or 14:59. We did it in 14:57. Yeah, 14:55. Look at us.
Look at us.
Math is hard.
Who would have thought?
Math is hard. And I don't have a working brain.
That being said, we got anything else we want to say?
Join us on Thursday because
Friday.
Oh,
Friday.
Right. We are changing our format a little bit for this week. We will be doing an episode on Friday, not Thursday.
But it's going to be a good one.
It's gonna
And
be a
it's
good
going to
one.
be the day before my birthday, I believe.
Exactly.
Yes?
So
Yes,
for
that's
the day
my
before
birthday.
Eli's birthday, we will be debuting a little game show type episode.
I'm
So
very excited. It's one that we eventually intend to play with like guests on the show. I've got a small lineup of potential guests for the future. We're hoping this will be a end of the month kind of thing.
yeah, an end of the month sort of recurring type series. So if you're excited for that, definitely hit
Let
that
us know.
like button. Leave us a comment below. Share this video with your friend who loved Thor Love and Thunder. Subscribe to Under the Helmet podcast so you don't miss any of the chaos.
Join our Discord
And
channel.
also,
It's a delightful
absolutely,
place.
join our Discord. We just had a new member. Shout out to Tall Guy.
Yep.
And follow us on Instagram because we will be posting on there again soon. I've got some memes from the Discord that we will have to be sharing. So you don't want to miss that. Link, as always, is going to be in the bio down below. But with that being said, I'm Dylan.
I'm Eli.
And this has been Under the Helmet Podcast.
Rock.